started with which what we kind of figured was going to be a slate driven by a couple of games injury news, and the first of them came on in. And fortunately, it's early. I'm sorry. Fortunately, it was an early game, and the news came in plenty of time, so we do have time to figure out what we want to do. So basically, the entire United States of America is out, but we're still waiting. Now, what's going to be interesting is that we're going to be waiting on the Charlotte news, I imagine, for a little while, right? And that starts well after lock. So we're going to have to, if anybody sees anything coming across the tail on Charlotte, just obviously kind of let me know. I'm pulling up my Discord here so I can see some things that come around. Oh, there's Bobby.
How's it going? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. So I'm just starting to update. I said that we got, the semi-expected. I didn't expect the full Monty at Philadelphia.
Yeah.
But we still, I think, I haven't checked yet, but do we still have the, do we have Milwaukee? I mean, not Milwaukee. I think Brogdon's on Milwaukee. Do we have Indiana yet?
No, we have game time decisions for Brogdon and Lamb.
Okay. And we don't have anything, obviously, for Charlotte yet, right?
No, I don't think we're going to get anything for Charlotte.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think Charlotte is just is the best situation, just to try to play as much of it as possible. And you can always pivot with inevitable late news.
Right.
But the way it's working for me is so everything's going to change now. Like PJ Dozier, who was in play for me, is way less in play than he was. Dwight Howard is probably the easiest play on the slate. Shake Milton is a phenomenal play. I think Patton is a much worse play than he was for a number of reasons, but I still think he might be in play. The thing is, when you're weighing them out, Howard, Bradley, that's what I'm really deciding between is Howard, Bradley, Patton, and Biyombo. The weird part is I think Biyombo is getting completely left out of this conversation, and I don't agree with it. I don't like it. I think he's a better play than Patton by a long shot. We don't know if Patton might not even play 5 minutes. We don't know. He also might play 30. It's really up in the air. John Wall, whether he plays or not, I think actually does affect that a little bit. I know he fouled out of the last game, Patton, so he would have had his fair share of minutes, but that was a monster blowout. It's a weird spot. I would rather side with Biyombo, who they're playing minutes even in games where they don't need to match up with a center, and in this one they really do. So I like the idea of right off the bat, I'm preferring that part of it. Now I still like Patton a little bit, but these other guys are just much, much better plays to me. And I think Bradley and Howard's upside is immense. So,
well, did I miss a?
Bradley, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I must have missed one of the places projections, because one place is so much less on Howard than the others. So let me just
no ownership is going to be right with him. Not even
no,
close.
I don't mean ownership. I mean
projections.
I mean projection. I probably just got there too early. Let me just say
maybe it's just a little bit early because it's very hard to understand.
Yeah, I got there early. Let me just see. Dwayne Howard. They have him. Oh yeah, okay. So I was still early. I'm just going to redo this one. Hold on, and then I'm gonna show again what my. The same thing I always do. Then again, what people, I hope people realize that, when I give out plays or whatever it is, values and stuff, that is totally without any ownership consideration at all, and that's a really big deal, and it's also just a median type thing, it doesn't really account for, guys that are just going to just hit their median and never have any upside, that's what we're here for, is to actually figure out how to build this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So let me just update it, and then I will go through the same thing I've been doing. Let me just see. Yeah, Dwight Howard makes Patton tough to play.
Or you just double. I mean, my original plan was to play Patton and Biyombo together.
Really? Okay. Biombo and Patton. Okay, right.
You know my style sheets. Like when I see the first thing, instead of seeing, I could play Ben Simmons now instead of Kyrie Irving, my thing is, no, I'm going to play those two guys in the lineups that I play them. I'm going to play them together.
Right.
Because people will make those decisions, and they're not going to. They're going to decide Ben Simmons if indeed Embiid is in fact out. Shake Milton, I wonder where his ownership is going to end up. So he's the one I've got to add to my list. Milton, Howard,
all good now.
Simmons. I'm just making my priority list so I can get my lineups figured out. Those would be the obvious ones. Guys, if you're getting the chat, feel free to pop in questions whenever you want. The thing that's interesting about this spot is we've seen Howard actually fail a couple times in this spot this season. And we've seen Bradley have explosive games. So I like the idea of getting some exposure to Bradley. If you're playing multiple lineups, obviously. I don't think I'd prefer him over Dwight. But I do think that, he's completely in play. We've seen 35s plus out of him. And we've seen Howard get in early foul trouble, Bradley play better, and then we'll sort of roll with him. I still like Howard better, obviously, but I do think that he's in play. Sorry, I'm just filling up my protein shake.
I'll just
There's one more guy too, by the way. Sorry, I should mention.
So I'm just going to list in order. Again, I'm not going to post it anywhere. I'll post it in Discord. If they're in Discord, they'll come here.
Yeah, it's too hard.
Like the way I have it, I have Dwight Howard significantly the best play. You know what I mean? The best value. I mean, by a decent amount. Now, again, it doesn't mean can't fail, right? But that's where I got it. And then I've got Milton next.
Yep.
And then after that, I actually have Lillard, Lillard and Simmons. So those are like the two kind of spend-up-ish guys. Now, the guy who kind of scares me is the next guy I have next, and that's P.J. Washington, because it goes against everything that I believe. You know what I mean? Like playing guys right.
This whole thing has got to change. We got to stop with this nonsense. You're not chasing a good play. Like, it's just a good play is a good play. The way he doesn't get there is he gets in foul trouble. They played a lot last night. Maybe they get blown out, out of the blue. I don't think.
Well, I don't care so much about the chasing. I just care so much about the back-to-back off a ceiling game. You know what I mean? Like
sure. The back-to-back in the minutes. Yeah, I get that.
But that's the one that concerns me. But and then after that, then I have Patton, Korkmaz, and then DeAndre Jordan as like the next bit of value. And then it's more spend-up-ish guys like Jokic and Ball and Harden and Doncic. And Gobert. I don't like as much because of the new value. I don't like Bridges as much, but he's still in there, and especially considering it's a late game. And if like more, I don't say more people are going to get ruled out, but
they will.
But not more than I'm anticipating. Like not more than Hayward and Zeller.
Well, we already have. I mean, those are pretty likely. I think there might be not more. Yeah, you're right. Not more on Charlotte's team. Personally, I have more Washington. Right now, I have more Bridges than I do Washington.
What do you think of Cody Martin, by the way?
I think he's fine to because he'll play minutes, but I think that with all this other value, like the worst thing you could do is use him in the utility spot. That would be because to me, you're either paying up for Jokic at center, or you're playing any number of these other options. And we didn't even mention one of them or two of them in DeAndre Jordan. And then the other
I just did actually.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. The other weird one is Nicholas Claxton, which is feels really thin with all the other centers.
I don't even know what team he plays on.
He plays for Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's been playing about 14 minutes a game. And that's with these guys playing. We've had Jeff Green out a little bit. We had Green out before, but they seem like they want to give him run. He's a guy who can produce in a short period of time. Put up 27 in 15 minutes the other night. It's a good matchup. You kind of want to match some of San Antonio's size because they've been starting Podol and DeAndre Jordan. Between foul trouble, DeAndre Jordan's a really solid play, but between foul trouble and just not being very good, could give him the opening he needs to play not the same amount of minutes. Now I expect Jordan, maybe Jordan plays 28 though, and he plays 20. And in 20 minutes, he might be a better play than Patton. He might be a better play than Biombo. And can
I tell you what position on DraftKings is like, it takes like forever to get to a good play?
Small forward.
No, power forward.
PJ Washington.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, unless you want to play PJ Washington.
Well,
Bridges.
Washington and Bridges are like way up there for me.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't mind if Trey Lyles pivot off of Bridges. Every time I play Trey Lyles, which is pretty rarely, I'm like, why am I playing Trey Lyles? Like, what am I doing?
Well, and, by the way, let's be prepared for Milwaukee, for Indiana stuff, because we
can't do anything without it. So really, all we're doing right now is we're just planning the first 2 games, and we can answer any other questions or talk about anything else.
Yeah, but isn't that one of the first 2 games?
Yeah, exactly. I'm agreeing with you. Sorry. Right. That's what we need to know. We need a Philly starting lineup and things like that. These point spreads have got to change soon. You think it does worry me that they might do something weird, like start Mike Scott or something. I don't really mind actually playing Mike Scott because he is power forward eligible.
I don't want to play Mike. You really want to play Mike Scott?
Well, the weirdest part about the Mike Scott thing, whenever we say this, is he's actually much more offensive minded than any of these other guys we're talking about. Like, not even close. I mean, he's been a guy who's put up like 50 fantasy point games in the past. Now he's older. I'm saying if he's starting, though, it's different because before he lost all of his usage because he was starting alongside Embiid, Simmons, and Harris. If you take away Harris and Embiid, then he does become the secondary ish option. I mean, Seth Curry, but he doesn't create his own shot. Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there. Like he's historically been a good fantasy point per minute producer. This year he's been terrible because the lineups they've played him with. You have a team that's playing 2 bigs. I'm just saying he gets you a little different because you can play him at power forward and still use the value at center. So you could actually play if he starts. Look, again, we're just talking hypothetically right now because we don't even have the starting lineup yet. Korkmaz is probably the least interesting, which probably means he'll have a good game like today.
That's what I was literally just going to ask you about him.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely – you're always playing really thin if you're playing Korkmaz. You want him to make 5 threes. That's your path to success. That's not an ideal path with all this value out there.
What about Danny Green?
Danny Green is far – there is no benefit to him to all these guys being out, in my opinion.
We said that once before.
And we were right. He put up with the guy who matters the most for him, actually, so this does lend itself to your argument here. Ben Simmons is the most important guy for him because Danny Green can't create a shot to save his life. Danny Green scored 7 fantasy points in 30 minutes with Simmons, Harris, who else was out? Curry. They literally only had 8 bodies, and he played 30 minutes. He scored 8 fantasy points. Now he had the monster game when they all came back, so that's what you're remembering. Because that was the game they all came back, and that was in overtime, and he made the 9 threes. But Simmons played that game, and so did Embiid. So I don't see him. Like I said, like I always say with him, he's not getting the boost that anybody thinks he is. He doesn't do anything offensively. I saw this story all year last year with the Lakers. There was anytime AD or LeBron or anybody sat, made no difference at all to Danny Green, except for that it actually hurt his open looks. The funny part is he's actually been producing really well lately, but not a guy who's in play for me on this.
Yeah, so we're just chilling. We're waiting.
Yeah, that's all we can do, right?
Yeah, we're waiting on DeRozan. Not DeRozan. You know what I mean? On Brogdon.
Yeah, a couple things in here. We got LaMelo Ball with a question mark. Absolutely, he's in play. I would prefer both Ben Simmons and Kyrie Irving over him. That's where I'm at with him. But I think him and Kyrie are closer now than they would be. And also you get the advantage of playing the late game. And see, just who knows what happens. You know what I mean? You never know. Royce O'Neal looks great at power forward, says JJ. The problem is I loved O'Neal to start today. Once this value starts coming in, you start wondering why are you playing Royce O'Neal? And how great can he look when he never scores 30 fantasy points and he's 4,800 and you've got Bridges at 4,800 who actually has a much better spot than he has had all season versus Royce O'Neal who doesn't have an exceptional spot. He's got a good spot against a team that he could be active against, but I don't see him as like some sort of going to put up 45, 50 fantasy points without something weird happening. And it's possible. I still like him a little bit. I just don't think that – I wouldn't play Royce O'Neal instead of Mikal Bridges. I would play him in addition, but I wouldn't play him instead of. Looks like you're going to need to edit those Fanduel lineups at some point.
Yeah, we're doing that now.
Yeah, there you go. Might as well. I always wait to do Fanduel last. I've sort of got my DraftKings. I don't like them. One thing I'm curious about, I actually haven't checked the current updated projections of ownership, but Malik Monk is going to be far lower owned than he should be. And I guess I'll call it out right now. I think Malik Monk puts up 25 to 30 real life points today, and that probably puts him in the 40 range, maybe higher. I love him in this matchup.
I like it.
And you'll get low ownership on him. I really like this whole Charlotte team. I mean, look, you got 9 guys here for a team that is overloaded with guys who can all play. And between the Martin brothers taking out, it's really weird too, because I actually a lot of people have always said that, Caleb is better than Cody, and now it's Cody's better than Caleb. I don't understand it. It's sort of like what happened with the Morris brothers. It sort of switched at some point. Actually, I don't even know with the Morris brothers if it officially switched, but people started thinking Keith was much, much better, and then Morris. Anyway, it's just sort of gone back and forth. But trying to get exposure to that last game in low ownership, Monk is the avenue for me, and Biyombo. I really think that people are mistaking this Biyombo minutes projection. I think there's a chance Biyombo could play 26, 28 minutes potentially. And I don't think these 20 minutes are necessarily where he's going to end up. I really don't. I don't see PJ also, she does think about this. What if PJ Washington gets in foul trouble? How are they going to match up? They're not going to put Bridges on Cantor. Cantor will eat anybody alive. One thing about Cantor is he can play. I mean, offensively, he's a force, and he'll get every.
Are you sure? Are you 100% sure about that?
The Mikal Bridges at 7
No,
inches?
No, that Cantor is an offensive force.
Yes.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not.
No, I'm curious.
There's a tinge of sarcasm, but
there is a little bit. But I hear you.
I'm just saying that every single time I think about that, I don't have ever actually seen him be an offensive force.
Okay, well, I'll tell you how he's an offensive force. He's one of the best offensive rebounders in the history of the NBA.
Okay.
And how are you going to play against this Portland team while you let Dame shoot from the outside and Cantor get every offensive rebound against guys who are 7 inches shorter? The only other guy that can match up with him, I'm really talking myself into this even more as I think about it. It's only Washington is even a reach to match up with him. Biyombo's the Biyombo, unless they're going to play a ton of Jalen McDaniels. And even that, I don't see that working out as a great matchup. I think he'll get dusted just from an offensive rebounding standpoint alone. So, look, and it's not just that you don't just need the foul. Biyombo's, I think his floor for minutes is 20. And I think his ceiling is 30 plus. I really think he's got that. It's a potentially, we've seen him play 20. Well, he played 28 minutes in a game that Zeller played and was healthy for. And he came off the bench and did it. He's the guy they use to sort of slow down that part of the thing. And look, if they get blown out or something, maybe it ends up McDaniels. I just really like the idea when everybody's going that other way. So, but you know what I'm doing, obviously. I'm playing him with Dwight Howard or with Patton or maybe even with Jokic or something. Sorry, I did a lot of talking there, guys. Fire in some QQs while we still have some time. Wade from Cleveland, way too thin for me on this slate. I was into it a little bit early. Well, I wasn't into it. I was mentioning that he's been rebounding. I just think you're asking for trouble. I would rather play guys the minutes though. That's what's throwing me off here. I guess he's okay, but I just prefer these other guys better than Dean Wade on this slate. He is rebounding a lot.
I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah, but even with those games, he's put up 20, in those not ceiling games, but he doesn't do anything except for rebound, which is weird because you wouldn't think they would need him to. But we do have maybe there is something we could gain from the from what's his name being out. We still have Osman questionable. What if Osman's out also? Maybe both he and Windler are better plays because then their bodies start to get pretty thin. They only have, what do they have right now? They're planning on playing 9, I think. So anybody else goes out, I guess he does become in play just by force almost. And no one's going to play anybody from Cleveland.
Yeah, I'll tell you who you've been mentioning a couple of times who I really, really like is the Malik Monk.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got him right now in 60% on DraftKings and pretty high volume too.
Well, let me see if there's anything coming in on the on the Pacers. I'm sure. I was hoping someone will say something, right?
I'm checking too. I'm refreshing at the moment.
Let me see any questions in here, or no, not really. Or?
We haven't got any questions in yet. I'm sure we will in a minute. They usually happen right about.
We're about to put our lineups in, right?
All right. Favorite cheap center on Fanduel. I mean, I haven't even double checked it, but it's Dwight Howard. It's Dwight Howard is significantly better than everybody else on Fanduel. I think there's an interesting Biombo argument to try and pivot, but you really might be asking for it. I think
so here's a question. Someone's posting it in a different Discord. Just not even posting now. It's like an hour, like 20 minutes ago. But I figured I would ask you. I mean, Jared Allen's going to be 5% owned now.
I love Jared Allen. I'm not. I don't find. I'm having a hard time finding.
Okay, here it is on Twitter. Wait, hold on. It says no update on Joel Embiid, but he is on the court getting some shots up right now.
It's a really bad sign for how this is. The good news is we can just postpone it and play these other cheapies like Biombo, and then we can just delay it. And Biombo and Patton, who are in the later.
It's a Dwight Howard decision. I mean,
No, but if Embiid is announced in, we're not playing Dwight Howard. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I wouldn't. But
if he's announced out and you don't play Dwight Howard, you're screwed.
Yeah, but it's the first game.
Right, but I'm just saying. But who knows when they actually announce this? I mean,
just be ready to do a mass global player swap right before lock, and we have 35 minutes. My guess is we'll know before then.
Yeah.
Especially if he's getting shots up right now.
He's probably going to play.
The thinking would I can't even see why does Doc Rivers gotta say something so stupid like that?
No, he didn't say it.
You're a coach. Yeah, sorry, Doc Rivers said it.
Joel Embiid is no. I'm just saying no. These are different beat writers. It says.
Oh,
there's a video here too.
No, but why would he come out and say what he said? That's what threw everybody off. That's the reason why everybody took Embiid out. There was no announce that Embiid wasn't going to play.
What exactly did he say?
He said absolutely very concerned about or whatever him playing tonight. Absolutely concerned about him being available. Something like that. This is
there was another time he said something screwy like that, right?
Yeah, go F yourself, Doc. Sorry, that kind of stuff pisses me off. I actually think there's a sick part of these guys that actually know that there's millions of people doing this and do it just to be. I really do. I honestly, there's no reason why you'd have to come out and say something like that.
He told a story at a coaching clinic once where he had to trade. He had to trade Austin Rivers, and he wouldn't tell him. He had to call the ex-wife before he would trade him. He called the ex-wife or something and told her to tell him or something. What is the cute thing? I don't know.
Okay, so we can't do anything.
No, just nothing.
That indicates absolutely everything on this slate.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much without question, I think too. I don't think there's any way. I don't think you can play no Philly guys possibly at all if Embiid is out. I just don't think it's possible to win.
No, Embiid is out. You've got to have Philly guys.
You have to. So we're going to get favorite cheap center on FanDuel from K9 Broncos Howard. But I actually want, now that we have any question, I do want to mention that the DeAndre Jordan is really cheap over there also. So maybe it's not so much of a landslide as I made it. I still like Howard better if he does start. Wait,
excuse me. And there's still nothing on Brogdon.
What? Nothing on Brogdon and Jeremy Lamb, which opens up.
If Jeremy Lamb is in and Brogdon is out, do you like Lamb?
No, because he played in that situation and played 18 minutes the other day.
Okay.
But I don't think he's going to shoot himself into. I don't understand why he doesn't play more. I mean, he's shooting 46% from three. So what I'm worried about here. Okay, well, let's get this straight. I'm just confused. If Embiid plays, I think Embiid is the best center play on the slate, ahead of Jokic. That's the annoying thing, but all right. Just combining ownership and everything like that. No, I think he's the best play raw points.
He's just the best play.
I just think these guys have been just absolutely been eaten up by pigs. And you take out Tobias Harris, and Embiid is the only person on the team who really benefits until you take out multiple guys. All right, so I'll answer some other questions there. We got the Windler question, obviously, and all that. I just think it's the wrong slate. It was the wrong slate. Maybe it won't be if Embiid does play. Sorry, I got my sound.
He fits in. He fits in on one lineup of mine rather sweetly, actually.
Who's mine? Windler?
Yeah.
I've got him in one of the 150. So if you're playing 150, yes. Any interest in PJ Dozier punt? Absolutely, in the 150s. Sure. There's no problem with playing PJ Dozier. I don't think you want to prioritize him unless, even still, I wouldn't prioritize, but I would play some more of him if we get some of the center nonsense out of there. If I play Monk, this is from John Jenkins. If I play Monk and Biyombo in a single entry lineup, do I have to pretty much run it back with Lillard? No, not at all. You could play.
Well, you could probably have to play Lillard anyway because Lillard's an awesome.
Lillard's a good play. Yeah. That's not it. Isn't the minimum 9 players? Yeah, they'll play. They'll find a 9th body, but it won't be a body that we have to worry about eating into too many minutes or usage. Good question from O'Neill. I never know how to pronounce that, man. And we talk all, like, I love this guy. He's a great dude, and I don't know how to pronounce his actual name on here. So clear it up for me, buddy. DFS Wolfpack agree. He says Embiid's dropping 80 if he plays. Simmons or Irving on FanDuel. Simmons if there's no Embiid, or Irving otherwise, or both. Let me know. Roberson on Brooklyn. I mean, if you want to talk about one of the worst plays I could possibly think of.
Let's call it what it is.
No, this is it. Look, this is the thing. I got to be honest about this stuff. I mean, he is like, you could literally double his minutes and have him projected for 40 minutes, and I don't think I would play him. He played
on hell. I love it. I love it.
What?
The pronunciation of his name.
Oh, on hell. Yeah. Okay. That is it. Okay, good. But Roberson, just to give you guys a quick background, Roberson is coming off of basically a 3-year injury, and arguably costs maybe you can call it 4 years. We can go all the way back to when KD was still there, because he didn't play in that series. You could argue that, well, he played in the Golden State series, but he was banged up. And I think he got hurt during that series. The famous one that got Durant out of town and cost them a title. Roberson is a really good defender, and probably the worst offensive player in the NBA, or right there with the worst offensive. I can't think of anybody worse than him.
What they should really have, like, as part of the All-Star game, like an All-Star weekend, they should like vote on the best basketball players that are terrible offensively and have them play.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like,
you get PJ Tucker in, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, if Roberson gets there, which he occasionally will do, because he used to play 35 minutes, and I think he averaged like 10 fantasy points. I'm not kidding. He was maybe the lowest. He made PJ Tucker look like a superstar. that's what we're talking about with Roberson. And to use a guard spot, especially, that would be brutal. Okay, that is how I thought it was. Okay, I'll say it like that. It just felt like.
What about that chimichanga guy on Orlando?
What do you mean, Alfredo Camino?
Chimogi, or what's his name?
Oh, Chuma Okeke?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we like him.
Yeah, he's thinner than he's been all season.
Is he better play than Roberson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's better than Roberson.
Probably not as good as Cody Martin, though.
No, he's not as good as Cody Martin, but it's only because of the minutes. It's really
definitely not as good as PJ Dozier. PJ Dozier's a decent play, right?
I mean, look, these guys all are
this is thin city, baby.
This is if you really want to get thin with it.
You don't need any of this, I don't think.
I mean, we don't know yet. I don't mind it. I don't mind cramming a bunch of these guys into a lineup if we get no. What I like about it too is you can be flexible with it. I mean, one thing is obviously it takes up a center spot, so that sucks. But I do think if you're going to try and speculate on thin value, you got to play Biyombo over all the guys we just mentioned. It's just the right thing to do, regardless of what happens tonight.
You like the Biyombo over the Patton. That's the idea.
Yeah, but I also like Patton's going to be owned a bunch.
Not if Howard's in, right?
I think he still will. I really do. Maybe not a bunch, but a lot still. He'll still be owned plenty. All right, let's see what we got here. Boy, it feels like
I'm telling you, this is gonna be one of those funny slates where if Howard's in, like Patton will be like 8%.
That's possible. Yeah, that's possible.
And probably for good reason.
I'm really curious what's going to happen now. So you saw the beat writer thing. That was a pretty good drop there, Sheets. Because I haven't heard anybody else talk about this even. That Howard that it looks like he's going to play.
Two separate beat writers came in with that.
What's that?
2 separate beat writers came in with that, I think.
I wonder if he's in street clothes.
That's a good question. I don't know. I mean,
it seems like a really weird spot like this. They don't play tomorrow, right? Am I missing something?
This one here, who's got the tickets?
They don't play tomorrow. I don't understand why. Like, if he's able to even go and warm up, why not go win your MVP, bro? Don't stop sitting out games. You really want to win the MVP? Play your freaking games. He's already missed.
There you go.
It's not right. It's
missing information.
It's like giving another MVP to LeBron too. By the way, if you keep sitting out.
Allen could be more in play based on some news.
Watch Dwight Howard come off the bench tonight for like 70. I'm just kidding.
There you have it.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? He did that the other day. Not the other day, one time this year, but he had been starting every game and doing nothing, and that was a big Bradley. Then he came back. Embiid came back and got into foul trouble, and Howard had like a 20-10 double-double or something crazy like that, or 16-10.
Well, the good news is I'm on a couple of different Discords, and nobody's got the info, so it's not like.
I mean, I'm annoyed because I have a bunch of lineups. This is going to dictate what I do with them, and it's going to be hard to scramble.
Doc has been weird with his quotes before.
Yep, absolutely true. We all know that.
I wonder if Embiid plays and we get his news 5 minutes before lock, would his ownership become incredible? Maybe.
Yeah, you're definitely getting a discount on it. Yeah. But people are pretty sad. I mean, we'll get it, right? Like, we have to have it soon.
No update on Embiid, but he's on the court getting some shots up right now. Someone comes in. I love the suspense both teams are giving us.
This is so stupid.
Oh, this is actually a cool little feature. I don't know whether it's Chrome or whatever, but I'm getting Google notifications, and it says notifications are hidden while you share your screen, which is I like that actually.
Oh, good. That's cool.
I like that.
I'm into that.
So I can get notifications from all my different Tinder apps that.
That used to happen to me all the time in my Roto-Grinders days, and I would try and turn off my things, and for some reason my phone kept malfunctioning. So I'd get all these people popping up, and eventually it got to be like people were like, "Just leave that on." And I'm like, I'm not going to show other people's faces on here, but like it was a funny idea anyway. People were like, "Swipe right."
Yeah, there it is.
One guy who I was into today a little bit more than and he's sort of fallen by the wayside, but partly it's because it's Ben Simmons, is DeMar DeRozan. I'd sort of like to get some pieces of him if I could, but I don't think it's going to work out.
Malcolm Brogdon is in.
Okay. That means I'm going to take some of my McConnell out of here. A lot of my McConnell out of here, I should say. So that's at least something we can do right now. And
that's according to Aside 12 on one of my Discord channels. It's not an official thing that I'm just saying, but I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't come in with that.
Okay.
But that's good. It's in big caps. Let's just
Brogdon in. Yeah, so I can just
temporarily. I didn't have any of McConnell anyway.
What? After everything we went through this morning?
Well, I didn't build anything yet. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, got you.
Lamb out.
McDermott's in play. Yuck.
Brogdon in, Lamb, and this is a better source. Brogdon in, Lamb out. Okay, very good.
Appreciate it whoever dropped that. I do think that the McDermott didn't play on both sides. What's weird is I still like McConnell. I mean, we got to remember we got a little McConnell revenge game going here too.
I was going to tell you that. I was going to tell you that earlier. That can I ask you a question? By the way,
yeah.
Maybe it's more of a time for the noon thing, but we have a little more time. But did you ever consider, by the way, when you have like guys like not guys like TJ McConnell, but guys going back to play with their old team, that it also helps the other team to know how to play against him?
Yeah, it depends on the guy. Like, and McConnell's not some superstar offense. Like, he's not a powerhouse like the other guys are.
Right.
But so I guess it depends on the guy a little bit. And in certain situations, there's like kinds of teams. Like, if let's just say Harden, for argument's sake, was traded to Philly instead of Brooklyn.
Well, because
they would probably double and trap Harden.
Embiid is in.
There we go.
And starting.
There we go.
Okay.
That's good that we got it now. Okay. So we can make Howard turn into a number of guys. It's the truth. Biombo's the first one I'm putting in there, and then the next one is going to be Patton. Boy, oh boy. They just wasted our time. He knows to get his MVP.
So are you going to play Embiid? That's the question.
Howard. The weirdest thing is that, like, it's not the.
It's not what?
It wouldn't shock me if Dwight. Also, you can throw JaVale McGee into the conversation of all these cheap guys. But it is kind of interesting. Like, I don't think that, like, you don't do it here. Yeah, no. On the wrist kind of a thing. Don't try and play something then.
What?
I don't want to play him with Embiid in.
What would you give Embiid? 50 fantasy points?
50? I would put 60, 58.
58?
Somewhere around. Oh, as an average projection, I would say like probably 56, but I think he'll be in the 60 range. I think he'll actually be higher, to be honest. I'm actually going to put him in. I'm going to prioritize him above Jokic. But I'm actually going to play a lineup with the both of them together.
Okay.
And I don't need I don't need all this Ben Simmons. I don't mind. By the way, Ben Simmons is still not like a terrible play, but you really don't need it anymore, obviously. You also really don't need Shake Milton. I don't know what people are going to do with that, but you can do it or not do it. I don't think I'm going to do it. Okay, PJ. Do I really want to play PJ Dozier? That's when I start getting into my. Got to play some thin guys a little bit if you want to play Embiid and Jokic together. I'm a little worried about Jokic. I don't usually have the feeling because like I actually like this Bulls team, but I kind of a little bit worried about them getting blown out tonight, which I don't generally feel because Denver's been pretty bad. Just had a feeling. So that's going to open up other guys. Like so Bradley's out of play too. Shoot, I got to get this straightened away.
Yeah, I gotta update all this.
I mean, it's so dumb that happened. It's just really dumb. I mean, I spent like a while going through these lineups and trying to find guys and whatever.
Yeah, rebuild up over here on the other side.
Take Philly out of there for my projections. Yeah, Patton. I mean, all the value is looking like centers, obviously, still. Like you have Claxton. Now Claxton is definitely in play. So I guess this makes Cody Martin more in play. This makes basically everybody else, like Martin. Here's the Dozier thinness, okay? So let me just say something about PJ Dozier. Why
Dozier thinness.
It's so thin. I mean, I know he put up 20 in the last game or whatever, but we saw him play without three of these guys who are playing right now. Three of them were out, and he didn't do anything, ever.
Right.
He had one game where he put up 26, but he put up 20 in the last game. And yeah, it's possible he's going to be on the court for 20 minutes instead of the 30 that he was playing and putting up 16. So maybe he can put up more than 20. I mean, I don't know. It's a good matchup, obviously, but like he doesn't do anything. I still might end up with some of them because he's so cheap. But Aminu, Cody Martin are now in play.
Who's Shamet at all?
Yeah, I do actually. That was one it's funny because this whole Philly situation sort of overwhelmed this Brooklyn stuff. But I actually think Shamet is definitely in play. He can shoot himself into a really strong play. In fact, I think he's probably a better play than Dozier for upside. I would like it if Tyler Johnson was out again. That's the one that's a little bit bothering me. It's interesting, though, with those guys out that the projections didn't change all that much for the Brooklyn guys. Yeah, Shamet I can definitely get behind, I think. I think that makes a lot of sense, actually.
It's kind of a fun lineup.
All right. Sorry, guys. This is the part where this is why I love the questions at the beginning because I'm not going to be able to answer them. They're going to work. If we had a producer or something, that'd be different. But
yeah,
answer questions
I'm doing the best I can, but
this is really hard to do.
Let's put this over here, just in case I get that one. I wouldn't mind it.
Cody Martin.
Boy, I'll tell you, man. It's if you guys ever want to either commit or even think about using SaberSim, like just be aware you're going to get some freaking lineups that make you want to throw up.
Which, by the way, is probably a really good thing for tournaments.
It really is. It really is. I mean, like I'm getting some Willie Hernan Gomez exposure. Like,
oh, interesting. That's interesting.
just some crazy ass.
It's actually not that crazy,
right?
Kind of weird. Like I didn't think about him because there's so much other value, but
he's going to be like the 0% owned guy.
0. All right, this lineup doesn't quite work with all the thin value here. Patton, Claxton. All right, after that, we've got Martin.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to upload once more, then we're going to manually change everything. Fanduel. Upload.
I may not play them both together because it does leave me really thin.
Who?
Embiid and Jokic. Damn it. I really wanted to do
Embiid
that.
and Jokic together, that's pretty that's interesting.
It means I probably can't play Kyrie with them. I mean, that's going to be tough. Yikes.
Wait, shit. Well, that wasn't very nice. I was getting it's pretty funny.
Who you got? Oh my God. Now I think that the Cleveland guys are in play, Dean Wade and Windler. I mean, that just freed up. Like we had a bunch of 3K guys, and I don't know that they're so exciting anymore.
Decimal lineups in, then I'm going to change everything. Yeah, I didn't bite for the 777, but I went in for that for the World Championship qualifier thing.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I did the 300 there.
Oh wow, you're going for it, huh? That's a big one to.
Yeah.
I hate things because it's funny because I've won a bunch of them, but I used to feel like this with the satellites in poker when you just can win one when only one person wins.
Yeah.
I always just felt like, God, what an awful feeling.
I know.
Boy, there's a lot of The value has become much thinner.
Well, I'll play this.
You want to try to backload it if possible, guys, because I have a feeling we're going to hear about more things by the end of the day.
For sure.
Yeah, that's almost no question, right? I'm struggling with LaMelo versus Kyrie right now, which feels like something I'm sort of shocked to be saying.
I thought about that.
I think Kyrie's the better play.
I totally agree. I think you could use LaMelo with, like, you know what I mean, Lillard.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I'm gonna do one more run here.
Well, you got anybody in the 3,900 range is outside of Aminu is pretty empty. There's like nobody. I mean, it can't be a center either, obviously, because I'm trying to. Well, I think I might be wasting a little too much time trying to get these two guys together. I know I want to play Embiid, but this is what I like to do. I like to speculate with all this other value nonsense. Because if you can get enough out of these guys, I mean, you might be able to get 150 out of Embiid and Jokic tonight. You know.
What do you want to get?
You might get like 150 out of Embiid and Jokic tonight.
Oh goodness.
You really might.
What was wrong with Embiid in the first place?
Nothing. Oh, you mean why was he questionable?
Yeah.
It was his ankle.
Okay.
I mean, coming off of a overtime 40, but that was a couple days ago. I mean, it wasn't like today. I've heard a lot of people talk about Jamal Murray today for a guy who's not going to be supposedly owned at all. I'm not sure I'm entirely buying that he's not going to be owned, by the way. But I also don't. I would much rather play LaMelo or Kyrie personally, and then Ben Simmons would have been the guy, but I'm less on Ben Simmons now. I sort of, you know what you can do is okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn that other stack into a Brooklyn San Antonio stack. That makes a lot of sense. Because I do like DeRozan tonight.
You do like him?
Yeah, I think he's a strong play. I just think that there's a lot of upside there.
I mean, it is against Brooklyn, Christ's sake, right? I mean, like,
yeah. And by the way, San Antonio is playing really well. Like they're trying to win games. But also, I want to play DeAndre Jordan, and I can put Shaman at his thin value, and I can play Kyrie.
You really want to play DeAndre Jordan?
What's that?
You really want to play DeAndre Jordan?
Kind of. He's absolutely crushed in this spot last time. I mean, I don't. It's like you have to play him. I'm just throwing it out there that I kind of want to.
I really don't want to. I mean, if I have to, I'll do it.
Like Jordan and Claxton both are in play for me, so I don't know. It's weird. 4,600. Do we have anybody at 4,600? Oh, we do. We have. That's where I wonder where we're going to end up projection wise on Shake Milton. Let's see. We should have it. We should have the projections updated by now. Yeah, there's Embiid with 58. I mean, it's funny that Embiid is like still shows up as like one of the best values on the slate. Shake is not a bad play though, still, right? I think Shake's actually in play still.
I think he's fine.
Keep playing these early guys though, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, like, you get it over with. Seriously, you don't have to worry about it. You know, you can put the number up. You put the number up, and you're done with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then then you get to watch some TV. You don't have to worry about it. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's like really advanced thinking by me.
Oh wait, let me edit this so I can at least get him in the right spot. Milton.
650 up, plenty of time.
I mean, like, what if something happened and one more guy was out for Brooklyn for some? I mean, you never know with these later games. If that happens, then you're like,
you watch in 2 more minutes. In 2 more minutes, they'll announce Embiid out.
No, seriously. Okay. So yeah, I think Embiid is the better play than Jokic for sure.
All right, so let's do this. And let's just see if we can't. Oh, dude, we got just so much time. It's scary. Let's see. Okay.
I still love Luka, by the way, in case Somehow that got lost on this. By the way, I keep ending up with Michael Porter Jr. I don't want to have Michael Porter Jr. particularly at 7K, but he just keeps ending up in all of my freaking lineups
on DraftKings.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna find a way around it right now. I literally just keep ending up needing 7K for a player. No, let's do Patton. I mean, you can play Patton Claxton. You can play Patton Biyombo. I like all of these taking these shots on these centers. Wow, I've got four Charlotte guys, and none of them named LaMelo. None of them named LaMelo.
That's tough.
Is it? I mean, the guy doesn't like. The truth is, he gets there about 20% of the time.
No, but I mean, how are the other guys gonna?
Why? Well, Malik Monk. There's your answer.
Okay.
Malik Monk, PJ Washington, Bismack to match up size-wise and for free. I mean, I'd like to play LaMelo if he was small forward eligible. I'd play him. I can't get. That's the position I'm struggling with the most. Well, they really give McDermott. What happened to the minutes for him in the last game? I couldn't figure it out. I think. Yeah.
Wow. They had to give the 46 minutes to McConnell somehow.
I think it's weird though because I actually think it's better strategy wise to try and play. I gotta go to play what's his name over him. Like you can play Windler over him because if Osman is out, I don't know. It might be a little too thin. I'm going to play Dozier for now and then hold off. No, that leaves me back right where I don't want to be. Never mind. I don't want to do that. I mean, who are you finding in the mid-range at like small forward, power forward? I mean, other than Bogdanovich from Utah.
I like Bogdanovich a little bit.
Yeah, me too. A little bit. God, I really might think about Robert Covington in that game stack. Yikes. Yikes, Bobby. What are you doing? It is a good matchup for him because he's going to get a couple of steals and probably a couple blocks. Just feels really thin. Well, for now, I'm going to do it because I've got to get to my other lineups.
What about McConnell anyway?
Yeah, I was just saying I don't think it's bad. I really don't. I have some Williams too, by the way, Patrick Williams. I think Jared Allen is still my favorite center. It's weird. Like Jordan's going to be so popular on Fanduel now that I'd rather avoid him there. And I was trying to play him on DraftKings, but I don't think I'm going to end up with that.
$5 minutes. Plenty of time here. You like Patty Mills at all?
No. On Fanduel a little bit. Yeah, Fanduel a little bit. Just because of the works things out price-wise.
Four minutes? Plenty of time. Are you kidding me? I thought we were running out of time here. Hold on. I got all day. Let's see. All day, every day. Get these get these lineups in. We don't know about Eric Gordon at all, right? Who cares, right?
No, I'm playing him on Fanduel. He's 5,300. I'm definitely willing to take that. We don't. I mean, the truth is, as we have projections for Wall, we don't know that Wall's going to play, so don't count on that one. God, all these Houston guys are so cheap on FanDuel. It's really tempting.
Do we still like Shake Milton, you think?
I think so. I mean, I think I do. Terrence Ross on FanDuel too is kind of interesting. I mean, you could do the double cheap thing. I think I'm kind of into that, actually. It's the only thing is, like, do you play him over Bledsoe? I think you do. The only problem is Bledsoe does sometimes do things.
You like Dwayne Bacon at all?
But I like Dwayne Bacon. No. But, I mean, look, it's just one of those, if he fits like you want to do it, fine. I don't like it. I currently have Cantor and Lillard as my placeholder at my 777 on FanDuel, but I can always change it, But I've got 4 Charlotte guys I'm running it back with.
With a minute to spare. No problem.
All right, now we need to figure out some other stuff. Guys, I'll be in the Discord if we want to go through the what to do afterwards, because I know Sheets is going to get out of here at 7.
Yep.
There'll be a lot of decisions to make.
I definitely have a decent amount of the DeAndre Jordan, by the way.
I didn't end up with that much of it, but I will probably get some. All right, it's live. Real quick, before Sheets kicks me out of here, I'm going to say favorite. Okay, let's see. Dude, we got to get this guy out of here, this DFS fantasy god. He always complains we don't answer questions, but he comes in 5 minutes before, and we never are not going to be able to answer questions. He was ripping me apart last time and talking shit about me about all over the place. Bro, I will make sure you don't come back on here anymore. It's ridiculous.
What happened now?
He's just coming in here complaining about how we never answer questions again. And he talked so much crap about me personally last time. I'm not.
Yeah, but he's the DFS fantasy god. I mean.
Yeah, that's why he's coming here just desperate to try and pick someone's brain because he can't figure out what he wants to do himself. What is the Discord link? It's on my last Twitter post. You guys can grab it from there. Guys, we got plenty of time to do the rest of this stuff. I can answer questions. I'll just go to Discord. Only the first 2 games are over. There's a bunch still going.
All right, sounds good. I'm going to end the stream, though. You can answer the questions in Discord. And, yeah, good luck, everybody. Everybody find your own inner DFS fantasy god.